The National Head Start program was initiated in 1965 as part of the War on Poverty programs founded under President Johnson. One of the ideas that brought about this establishment was the issue of addressing poverty at the prevention level, which are very young children ages 3 to 5 years old. It was hoped that poverty could be reduced or eliminated by giving these children who come from the poorest of the poor an opportunity to succeed at a very young age. This program was launched during a time of extreme civil rights and unrest in our country. The Head Start program was focused on the poorest of the poor, and therefore was caught in the middle of this political and social unrest. The success can be measured by the fact that the program has grown even through this difficult period, and in fact today annually serves more than 900,000 children. Most recently, the program has battled political battles centered on the cost of the program and whether it belongs at the state level, local public school control, or direct federal to local funding and administration. There have been many changes in the program, like the focus on education attainment levels for young children, and the varying opinion as to whether or not preschool children should be highly focused on solely educational objectives or the broader comprehensive approach used by Head Start. Head Start's comprehensive approach includes educational, social development, health, parent involvement, and disabilities components. In many ways, the fact that a large part of our country's leadership is now talking about the issues of early childhood is a very positive step. Some good advice for future early childhood educators would be to be prepared to go into a field that is still far behind in full acceptance as a priority for our country. Recognize that it is still considered a frontier in terms of philosophy, curriculum, and especially pay. In fact, there has never been a more dedicated group of professionals who are so often overlooked as a viable part of our education system, and yet give so much to this very young and impressionable population. It is unfortunate that too often the larger population in our society still views early childhood as a babysitting experience rather than a professional educational program. Head Start has developed and modeled the full scope of a quality early childhood experience. Head Start has established standards that are consistent and can be measured for the sake of research and quality. There are some historical and philosophical roots to their program. Certainly, their approximately 44 years as a program provides a historical perspective. One key philosophical root that this program is based on is one that children learn best through a comprehensive approach, which includes education, social development, health, nutrition, disabilities, and parent involvement. The second philosophical root is the parent involvement component. In Head Start, they do not simply state that parents are the most important teachers of their children, but they advocate and demonstrate this philosophy by their actions. According to Head Start, there are some policies and programs that have affected early childhood education in Arizona. The first is public school philosophies or curriculum. The second, Department of Education licensing and requirements. The third, higher education institutions who need to increase or expand their early childhood educational degree programs. And last, the state legislature, whose funding priorities have always been totally non-supportive of early education strategies. Head Start's views of children and their education are that every child, regardless of socioeconomic background, deserves to have a proper learning or educational foundation that will allow them to succeed in the future. Also, Head Start believes that parents are the priority educators of their children and should be given every opportunity to be a part of their preschool child's learning experiences. Head Start also has some viewpoints on where they think early childhood education is headed in Arizona. First, it is unfortunate that for some time it will continue to be a political position that will give and take from this field without fully realizing the negative impact that it has on this very young age group. Secondly, they are also convinced that regardless of the negative political side of early childhood education, these services will eventually be a normal part of our state's educational systems. And last, their greatest fear is that even with full knowledge and respect of this field, it will still continue to be another stumbling block for children rather than a positive experience full of quality and innovative approaches that will serve the needs of all children below the age of 5.